A pot of smoky stewed beans is a gift that keeps on giving. They're surprisingly easy to make, there's no soaking involved, and they get even tastier as they sit. This recipe uses inexpensive black beans, canned chipotle peppers, and a few clever tricks to infuse heaps of flavor into humble dried beans. Make a pot at the start of the week and you'll have a protein-packed base for a ton of different weekday dinners. Here's our top 5 ways to use them. Make breakfast tacos with scrambled eggs. Stuff roasted sweet potatoes with beans, guac, pickled onions, and all the fajita-inspired toppings. Or use them in rice bowls with fried egg and veggies. Make a cheesy black bean bake by showering a skillet of beans with cheese and baking until it's golden and melted. Serve with tortilla chips for dipping. Or use them in a delicious protein-packed veggie soup instead of canned beans. You could quite literally eat these beans every day of the week, so if you're into this kind of thing, here's how to make this recipe. We'll also cover some tips for cooking dried beans like a pro. This recipe starts with dried black beans. You don't really need to soak black beans because they're thin-skinned and already cook pretty quickly compared to other beans. Also, if you soak them, the beans will taste more watery and they also lose some of their pretty color. If you've had beans that never seem to get tender when you cook them, it's probably because your beans are old. Beans usually have a best before date of 2 years, but they're truly best within 1 year of harvest. In a large pot, saute white onion in olive oil until golden around the edges. Then add tomato paste and cook, stirring frequently until it's caramelized and brick red in color. This takes the raw edge off tomato paste and intensifies the flavor. Next, add dried oregano, cumin, coriander, and smoked paprika. Stir well so the spices are coated in oil. This is called blooming and it helps bring out their flavor. Then add garlic and cook briefly until fragrant. Now add stock, salt, and a bit of baking soda. Baking soda makes dried beans cook faster because it weakens the pectin in the cell walls. You don't need much, just half teaspoon to reduce cook time by 25 to 50%. Now pour in those dried black beans. We like to cover the pot with the lid slightly ajar to help the liquid come to a boil faster. But then it's important to remove the lid and reduce the heat to a gentle simmer. If you leave the lid on, the mixture is going to boil too aggressively and it makes it hard to check in on the beans and see when they need a water top up. Now it's just a waiting game. The beans will cook in 1 to 2 hours, depending on the age of your beans and your stove, and in the meantime, all you have to do is stir the beans occasionally and add water to keep the beans covered in liquid. In our testing, it took anywhere from 1 to 4 cups of water, depending on how long the batch of beans takes to cook. To finish the beans, stir in minced chipotle peppers and some of that smoky adobo sauce that comes from the can. If needed, you can also season with more salt to taste. Cooked beans are best stored in the fridge for 3 to 4 days, or you can freeze them for up to 6 months. Enjoy these chipotle stewed black beans on their own or add them to your favorite dishes. We'd love to hear how you use them.